All right, so here we are. We got another one of these. They're calling us because we're getting in and getting out really quick. And it seems like most of these guys are using the Halloween stores. They set up and they just go through the Halloween season and then off they go. The last one we did, we made a really nice chunk of change on the scrap metal. And I'll tell you about that later. So let's go check this out.
South Park, they made a joke. Whenever a place like this goes out of business, immediately a Spirit Halloween opens.
Yeah, oh, it is a Spirit Halloween. So we don't know anything about these guys other than the fact that they use us to do their junk removals. So, yep, there's another Halloween store. Is this the same one that was at the other store? Okay, we're getting a lot of comments from the community about these shelves, okay? And guys, I just want to help you understand something. They already did a sale. They've had a sale. They've had hundreds and hundreds of people come through here. There are all kinds of businesses they're in this area and they're working deals. So if this stuff's left, if it's left over, there's a good possibility that the market's super saturated or there is no market whatsoever. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in here and we're gonna clean this place out and get it ready for this Halloween store. So what we're looking for is we're looking for things that are valuable that we can take back to our shop and sell. So there are some goodies here that we didn't have in the last ones. So these, I don't know what these are, end cap covers. These are furniture, these are for the bottom of like a couch or a chair, like a living room set. These are Broyhill displays, which would have been like fabric. Normally Broyhill, the Broyhill stuff that I've seen in the past is furniture. So maybe they sell off some of their fabric as well. So over here we got all kinds of things on the tables that's still left here. Some of the stuff's gonna be worth some money, you know? Now, as to whether we're gonna mess around with it or not, so these are basically parts to the shelves. This right here, a twin jumbo tissue dispenser. Okay, we've been doing this long enough to know that that kind of stuff doesn't sell. People, most of the time, the people who sell the toilet paper to these places, they provide that stuff as part of their business model. This right here is floor finish. So this stuff here could be worth money, except for, guess what? It's really heavy and you don't want to ship it on eBay because it's heavy, so it costs so much to ship it. So that's why that's still here. Because I guarantee you there's a lot of people who have been through this store that are doing that kind of stuff when they did the liquidation sale. Because they're gonna buy this stuff, turn around and put it on eBay or on Craigslist or whatever and resell it. So we've got some floor mop heads over there. These are all, I mean, this right here is probably worth $100, you know, to somebody that really needs them. You know, probably $1 a piece. There's at least 100 in there. And these bigger ones, same thing. It's just all about right place, right time. So you're probably talking several $100s worth of that stuff here. One of the guys in our community basically said, you know, each and every one of these is $25 to $45, each and every one of them. Then he said, when you're talking about this section right here, just this one section from here to here, okay, they're $450 to $500 per section, okay, brand new. Now, pretty much very similar style as you see right here. These are probably 30, 40 years old, or 20 to 30 years old. So this section used, if there's a marketplace for them, is $250 to $300 per section used, okay? And then the shelves again are $25 to $35 a piece. So turn around here, look at this. How much money is that? Use that number. Is this $100,000 worth of stuff in here? Used stuff? The problem is it's time and money. They don't have the time because Halloween's right around the corner and they just want it done and they want it done quick. We don't have the storage space for it at our shop, We would love to have the amount of storage space it would take to do this. If I had a store this big at our shop, we could carry a certain amount of this stuff. We could stack it up a certain way, but we just can't afford it. The numbers are, we're so close to the coast, the numbers on everything are just off the scale. So let's go see if there's anything here that's worth messing with. So this is their office area. So TV stands, don't sell. Now this thing right here might be worth some money. So I need to check with Mike and make sure that we're getting this. So something like this, we will take that back and put that on eBay. This is a newer looking phone compared to the last one we were at. We'll check this out. You know, again, this is not new technology, but what this is a scenario where the guys would want to have, they already have a system, the phone goes out, they want to spend $200 or $300 on a brand new one, so they'll buy this one for 40, 50 bucks off of eBay. The thing you do with eBay is you get on there, you look up completed sales, and you see if things are worth see if it's worth anything before you spend your time on it. A lot of times you can use your Google Lens and it'll give you a good idea whether this is worth messing with. Here's some little, so being naughty ever tasted so nice.
They're chocolate coals.
They're chocolates?
Little coals, yeah. It's like what you put in the stuff.
Cool. You want some chocolate?
Chocolate coals.
You guys want some chocolate? Should we test it? A lot of times these electronic things like this, you look them up, they're worth some money. You know, a lot of times they're worth absolutely nothing. You can never have too many surge protectors. So even these little transformers and stuff like that can be worth some money. So you want to take the time to look one of these up, see if this is worth anything. So we're going to take and do this with our Google Lens. And I've used the Google Lens since it came out because what it does is just saves me time. A lot of times it doesn't really get me where I'm going, where I want to go right away, but it gives me a good starting point. Muzak amplifier. The AI says the Muzak Series 3000 integrated amplifier. Based on recent eBay listings, prices for used models typically range from between $20 and $70, including shipping costs. So if it's $20, you got to ship that. It's going to be $10 or $15 to ship it, and your time, it's not worth it. $70 now, maybe that might make it worthwhile. Something like this wouldn't fit our business model to sell it though, because it just, we have too much overhead. The desk system here, really cool little desk system. In the history of what we're doing, I would have taken this back and sold it. Again, this particular situation, we've had a lot of desks lately and we're not selling them, and I don't know why. So, all right, let's go see what else is out here. Ooh, a safe. Gotta love it when there's a safe, and they're always locked. Have to see if we're taking that. If we're taking that, what we'll do is we'll get that's a heavy duty enough one, worth enough money, and it's heavy enough that we could take that. The guys can get it onto a hand truck, and we'll take that, and then we'll get it to the shop, and then Bernard will get in, and a lot of times he can get into them himself. If not, we'll call a locksmith and have him get into it, and then we'll sell that for $400 or $500. So there's another safe back in here. And this one's actually got some keys to it. The thing is a lot of times they bolt them to the floor. The only way to get them off is to actually jackhammer a hole around them and pull them out. So it looks like maybe somebody took the keys from up here and was trying to mess with them, and those don't really fit it. So, anyway, this one definitely probably worth some money. This one, maybe, maybe not. The other components in here, again, there's another phone system set up. These Ethernet things are really not worth anything. That's kind of old school. A lot of stuff, the technology just gets left in here. A lot of times these things they're worth something only in the fact that somebody's got a system set up and they need to replace just a part and they don't want to spend a lot of money. So this right here, this is a big battery pack. Most likely that's all shot because those batteries just go bad after a while. Let's see, there's some cash drawers and stuff back in here. Good yard sale stuff, some of this. That would be yard sale stuff. Got some more shelves here. So these shelves, if these are worth $25 a piece, you know, that's $4,000, $3,000. Well, okay. Probably $2,000. So, right? Not $4,000. And then all this back here is just more, this is just excess shelving that they had put away in the back for use in the store that they didn't need. Here's the break room. All right, this is something that we sell quite a bit, quite a few of these lockers. You don't get a crazy amount of money for them, but they're definitely saleable. Normally they're screwed to the wall. So this is something that we'll take with us. Maybe worth probably a couple $100. This table, too wiggly. That's too old. Now up there, there's a possibility that there's stuff that's up there that's worth some money that has been put away and saved for later and forgotten about. So we'll have to get up there and check on that. We'll get a ladder and check that out in a minute. All right, let's go back through here. This is a lot bigger than the last one, right? So here's your cleaning supplies. Yeah. Little shopping cart. This is the bathroom.
Really bathroom.
The bathroom.
Smells very fresh.
Does it smell fresh?
Not at all.
Not at all. Yeah, this is that same stuff that was out there on the floor, that Vectra. That stuff could be $100 a box. I don't know. It could be $30 a box. Still a lot of money. More shelves sitting back here. All right. So it looks like we do have a couple things that are fines. For example, if this is something we can take with us, this could be worth $200-300 used. It's got the charger to it. That looks like the same kind of charger that they use for a golf cart. It's very similar. So that's probably what that is. It's got a flat tire. This kind of stuff, again, you're dealing with stuff where people want to fix, they don't want to fix something up. So these are headboards. That's, this is a full headboard. And so they're $109 a piece at Big Lots. So that's a Broyhill bedroom. That's the bed frame that you put on the floor. That's a king headboard, Broyhill king headboard. This is a trundle bed that you have to put together. So this is worth, several $100s, probably a couple $100s. This all looks like it's come from the Big Lots. These are king queen panel rails. So these are the rails that go on the side of a bed. So this is a good find. This is something that's definitely something we could sell at our shop. I don't know what these are. They look like maybe a table without the top on it, maybe?
Right, that's what it looks like.
So that looks like it goes on the floor. And these go like this. So what do you think? Like a towel holder?
It's gotta be.
Something like that?
It's gotta be a towel.
Yeah. Oh, that's something we're not going to take. Okay, here's a Life Water supply display. This is pretty cool. Look at the nice wheels on it. Somebody spent some money putting this together. What's up, fellas? How you doing? Is this stuff coming with us?
I'm not sure as of yet.
No. So we're getting more in these things now. They're stacking them as they go. So this is going to take it'll take a lot fewer loads. These loads are going to be a lot heavier. So just think about it again. If every one of these is worth $25, they were selling them in there for $20. If they're just worth $20 a piece, what a shame. Look at how much stuff that's going to the waste. So what do you think there's 200 of them, 300 of them? What's 300 times 20? $6,000. Well, if we can get these are worth some money. For sure. We could sell these for sure. So, same thing with this here. These are conveyors there to help you unload boxes. You just send them down it and it rolls all the way down. So you can actually like take them from there and put it to that door.
I was thinking with the damn thing. I used to do overnight at big.
Oh, you know what those are then.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You know what you guys need is freaking pallet jack and pallets.
I know, but we got to take all that, bro.
Yeah.
Coming back to the shop.
Well, except for, I'll tell you what, Mike, this right here, we're not gonna be able to sell this.
None of this pallet, just those two?
Yeah, I would bring this all back, yeah.
All right.
Okay, I wouldn't take this.
What
about
total?
that?
He didn't mention it. I'm just, what he told me for sure is everything in the inside. You know?
Okay, cool.
Until you come and give me
All right, well just see if we could take those, because those would be, that would be nice icing on the cake for us. So, but pretty much just all the shelving in here?
same as the last one.
All right.
Everything in the middle, and then on the outskirts, and the shelves.
So outskirts, just the shelves?
Just the shelves in the bottom.
So you're gonna leave this on the walls?
Yeah.
And you're gonna take the kick plate?
And then the bottom, and then
Okay. All right, and then what about, so that's pretty much just the whole store, just getting it all out. So what do you think? How long you think it's gonna take?
They got me on the microphone?
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
you don't know?
Give or take by Friday,
Maybe by Friday? You had some pretty big crews in the last one, huh? Look at how dirty it is underneath these. That's years and years and years and years and years of that being here. This is probably a grocery store before it was a.
Probably a big lot. Big lot before.
Oh, it was a Big Lots. That's what, and that's all inventory left over from a Big Lots.
Exactly.
No, so this wasn't a Joann's Fabrics. This was the Big Lots.
Big lot, yeah.
No kidding. All right, so there you go. Now that makes a big change. So this is a Big Lots that went out of business. That makes sense.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, you seen the Broyhill stuff. All right, so guess what? We thought this was a Joann's Fabric. Guess what? It's not. Check it out up here. So our big promise to you. So if you're not happy with your purchase, bring it back within 30 days. So this is Big Lots. The orange is Big Lots. All the stuff in the back had price tags on it. It was all Big Lots price tags. So this was a Big Lots, not a Joann's Fabrics. So kind of interesting. So who's probably getting us this work is this Spirit Halloween company. They're renting spaces and they're saying, hey, you know, these guys will get it cleaned out for you really quick, and they don't want to be messing around with it. So once they clean this up, this is a real mess to clean up. If you look underneath these, every one of these, it's pretty filthy. If you look in the back, you want to just do that on the edit.
Yeah. I got B-roll.
If you look in the back, you can see how filthy it is underneath all of these shelves for whoever's going to come in here. And this whole place is going to be wide open. They're going to put in their own displays. And they put their displays in, they do their Halloween thing, and then they take everything with them. All right, so there's a furniture section. Let's go see if there's anything here that they've left behind. Never fails, there's always an alarm going off. All right, so this was their Big Lots furniture section. So this is all wide open because they probably had beds set up in here and things like that, and bigger items. And then they got this temporary wall that they built. I'm sure we're probably going to be taking this out. All right, this can save the guys some time. All right, so this fixture had $80 on it. It rolls decent. We'll get this, let them use it for getting shelves out of here. When the Big Lots goes out of business, I mean, what does that say? Because that's the low money stuff, you know? So when the Big Lots goes out of business, what does that say about the whole economy? Because everybody's trying to save money by shopping at places like a Big Lots, right? What does that mean? I'm not sure what that means. So this is another big box store where we're emptying out all the shelving on it. The shelving's worth nothing because there's no market for it. If there was a market for it on the liquidation sale, a lot of this would already be gone. And maybe honestly, we don't really even know. There might be a lot of it that's already gone. So they had a liquidation sale here. Each one of these, like this setup right here, is the end cap's $200, $20 for each shelf. This whole section right here was $1,000. And guess what? Look at how many of them are left here. That tells you there's no market for it. Because if there was a market for it, they're gonna wanna come in here and say, hey, I'll buy these 10 for $5,000 and work a deal and just get that. But if there's no new stores opening up, then these racks and these metal shelves and stuff, they're just not worth anything. So the overhead that the big box stores have to carry in multiple locations all over the place, when they're competing with a company like Amazon or Walmart, where they've got these big, huge distribution centers and they actually bring it to your house, they just make it too convenient. You hit button, here's your credit card payment, and then it shows up tomorrow and the next day. I mean, we're all busy. We're running our butts off just trying to survive, let alone going to go shop at 10 different places to get everything you need, like we used to do, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Do you really even need to go to the store? So it's a huge change, gigantic change. It's a completely different ballgame. The surest thing in life is change. Guess what? Things are just continuing to change. So wonder what that's going to mean for all these big shopping centers, these commercial places. This place looks pretty empty. There's another big store down the street here, right down this is not that big of a plaza, and it's empty too. So the two pretty much anchors in this big complex, they're gone. So this is the third box store that we're cleaning out in just a matter of 2 weeks. All empty shelving that nobody wants, that we're putting into 40-yard dumpsters and hauling away. So the curious, what's it gonna be? How much money is it gonna be in scrap metal on this one? The last one was about half the size of this one as far as the amount of shelves. We got about $2,700 worth of metal out of the last one, and that's at 7.5 to 10 cents a pound. So what a shame, out of $100,000 worth of shelves, or $50,000 worth of shelves. Never took the time to actually figure it out. So you can see right here, like this case right here, this is a really cool looking display. They had a $400 price tag on this, okay? Back over here, if you take a look at this, 20-foot sections of this plus $20 a shelf. That's what they were asking for these. So this whole section down through here was $1,000 and then $20 for each additional shelf. So, okay, let's just use that number, okay? Just use that number. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. You get where I'm coming from? You're talking like $30,000, $40,000 worth of that stuff at that price point. And that's the liquidation price point. So same problem that these guys have. They don't have any place to put all this stuff. And you got to get the labor to take it apart, put it on a truck, take it somewhere, and put some displays back up so you can sell them, and then store it long enough for it to sell. Which means you got to have the lights on, you got to have the HVAC on, you're paying rent on the space. So some pretty cool stuff. This color though, man, it makes me think that these are like 25 years old, 30 years old. So what we're doing is we're doing the same thing we did on the last two. We're loading this stuff up, taking it out the back door, putting it into dumpsters, and then we're going to take it to the scrap yard. All right, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And definitely, if we can get that, we'll take it. Yeah, we'll take all that. Okay, so the goodies on this one, potentially, we don't know for sure, would be this machine, and then these carts right here. These are something that somebody needs somewhere, because you can expand these things out. You can expand this out about 50 feet, and what you do is you take your box You see how they expand out like this? And you take your box, and let's just pretend that this is a box, and watch. So you're unloading a semi and you just go like this. And it actually makes the box stay on there because the rollers continue to roll it. So how long is this one? Now watch this. See? Works really good. I've done this before when I was working as a kid at Myers Square. So these are something we could sell. We'd have to sell them on eBay to find a market for it. Somebody's looking for something like this. This would be a huge amount of money new. They're only asking 150 bucks for this when they were trying to resell it. That's because there's such a small market for them. But something like this on eBay, gosh, got to be worth a couple $1,000s. Okay, same thing back here, like this right here. This is a controller to something. This is the controller probably to their hydraulic, their trash compactor. When you're working this, and as owners, when we were working this stuff, we would say, hey, do you want that? They'd say, well, it's still connected by electric. They're saying they're getting rid of that outside. No, I don't want it. So we would just disconnect it and we would sell it, put it on eBay and sell it. So the guys are brought carts this time since there's so many more shelves than before. Plus we don't do this kind of stuff all the time. So it took the guys a couple times for them to kind of get down a better system. The same thing with the dumpster. They're loading the dumpster different than we were loading it before. And then these are all goodies that we're going to take back to the shop and sell. This thing right here, you know, most likely worth a couple $1,000s. We'll look it up. If we get it back to the shop, we'll look it up and see what it's worth. So now we're not doing a demo on this, but when we do demos and we do stuff like this, these things are full of copper. And we have done demos where we take all of this stuff out. Now there's no reason to take this stuff out. Now if they brought in a whole new, let's say they're gonna put a Publix in here, they'll bring in all new stuff and all this stuff will get demoed. And this is something that we can demo, or we would demo if they needed us to. This store here is very, very old. This is some old equipment. All right, so before we leave, I'm gonna have the guys, they're gonna be here a couple days. I'm gonna have Mike bring back a ladder, and he's gonna get up there and see if there's any goodies up there that we can get a hold of that might be worth some money. A lot of times things that are worth money, they're put away in places that, you know, you don't know where they're at. And then we need to figure out on the safes, if we're getting the safes or not, and so on and so forth. So initially we thought this was a Joann's, and after walking around for a few minutes, we figured it out. It didn't look like a Joann's, and these shelves are a lot older than what we've seen in the Joann's. This is a common thing. I've heard of several other stores going out of business here. I was just talking to a friend, and there's a party store that she goes and buys all her stuff. She's a photographer, and they're closing it down too. So this is a trend. It's a bad trend. Bad and sad. Bad because, you know, people are losing their jobs. Bad because now these big buildings are going to start sitting empty. I've been hearing about this for a while in the markets. They're talking about everything's going to change in the commercial market. The commercial real estate market is supposed to go through a really bad time here shortly, and that's because, you know, the malls and the big box stores like this are just not getting the traction they used to get. So we did another one of these not too long ago, and we haven't been doing a lot of these box stores, so we don't have a lot of practice. So now you'll notice what the guys are doing here. What we're doing is, first of all, when I got there, I'm like, guys, put your ramp on here. You're wasting time. So they did. And then what we did here is we stacked these instead of just throwing them in, and we're stacked them very tightly. So what happens is when you're taking these 40-yard dumpsters to the metal yard, that ferrous metal, magnetic metal, iron metal, that metal, it just doesn't weigh very much. So we were just throwing it up over the side, and it left a bunch of voids. So what happened is on this one, the same crews are doing this. They went in and opened the door up and they stacked everything and just made it nicer and tighter. So that what that means for us is that we're more efficient because we got less trips to the scrapyard and there's more density inside of the dumpsters. Okay, so you know, less trips is better. Notice the nasty gooey stuff that's underneath these shelves. So that's 20, 30 years of dirt underneath those shelves. Isn't that gross? Yeah, you never know what you might find underneath there. So if you'd like to learn more about how we do the things that we do and how we started this thing that we do, this business, our business is a whole bunch of businesses all together. They all stemmed and came from the junk removal business. The junk removal business is something that anybody can do anywhere. There's unwanted stuff everywhere. The little secrets that have made us get along faster and to grow quicker, they're all inside of this little course that I put together. So this is a course. We normally charge $99 for it for a limited amount of time. It's basically free. And it's a beginner course. There's a mastery course that you could purchase later on, but this is the beginner course and it teaches you all kinds of stuff. It's kind of like how to flip furniture, more or less, and how to flip appliances and stuff like that. Stuff that's left over in your neighbors' garages and stuff like that. There's money. You're driving down the street on trash day, there's money sitting there all the time. And it's kind of a fascinating thing to see, and it's a nice little side hustle, nice little way to start a new business if you want to go into business for yourself and work for yourself. This stuff here that's in this dump trailer, that's going to go to a different yard. That's going to go to the C&D yard, which is construction debris yard. The metal here, this is all going to go to the scrap yard. So that's a 40-yard dumpster right there, and that's about as big as you can put on the back of a truck and not risk hitting you know, the lights and the wires on the street. So that's one of our roll-off trucks. We have two of those. And these signs that we put on the sides of these trucks and trailers and stuff, they get us a lot of business. So we have signage on everything. It's expensive to do, but it's a very good idea. So if you're in the business, if you're in the junk removal business, or if you're in the demolition business and you're not putting signage on everything that you've got, so you're really missing out, because that right there, I learned this from the real estate business. When I would put a sign on a house, it would get so much more traffic. So we're on the way to the scrapyard here. So, and if you didn't put a sign on a house, you got significantly less traffic. So it made a big difference. So when we started doing this, I started putting signage on the box trucks, and then I noticed every time we went into a neighborhood and worked there all day long, we would get some business from that neighborhood the next day or next week or whatever. And it was kind of interesting. A lot of people in Florida don't talk to each other in their own neighborhoods, but they'll see and they know the reputation of that person, and they're like, well, those guys are really hard to work for or whatever, and these guys were able to satisfy them, so maybe we'll use them too. So that's kind of the the mindset that we've seen. So here we are at the scrapyard. Now this is a pretty tiny scrapyard. Now we go to a lot of different types of scrapyards. Some of them are super crazy organized, and some of them are not so much. Now what happens as an owner, those doors right there, they strap them up with a chain, and let's say they're dumping and the chain breaks free and they don't notice, and then you rip the freaking door off. So that's one of the things that we deal with probably 30 times a year. So right here, this is all just a pretty dense load of magnetic shelves. What a shame. If you had to sell them shelves and you actually had a market for them, this might be $50,000 or $60,000 worth of shelves. It might be $10,000. I don't know. I'm not somebody who can do math in my head. So we dumped that out and we just filled up half their yard. Isn't that something? Here we are. So this is about, let's see,
600.
not that much. You would think that a dumpster full of metal would be so much more money than that. So, you know, this is just one of the little profit centers. So when we're doing a job like this, the majority of the money we're making is actually by doing the job. And then we make a little bit of extra money on stuff that we get that we can resell. So in this case, all that stuff right there that's in that trailer is wood, and it's going to go to the C&D dump. Another one of these big box stores. What we expected to get out of this was kind of a big letdown. So a lot of the stuff that was piled in the back, when we opened it up, it was just pieces and parts of stuff, and it was nothing was complete. So we didn't get anything from there. We got a lot of cleaning supplies and stuff like that, but we don't really have a big market for that. The total on the scrap metal was about $2,700 in just regular metal that we took to the dump. Probably $100,000 worth of shelves taken to the dump, and we got $2,700 for it. So super huge junk removal we did, and we got another one coming up very shortly, and this one was a Big Lots. This next one's another Joann's. So if you'd like to learn more about how we do the things that we do and how we started this thing that we do, this business, our business is a whole bunch of businesses all together. They all stemmed and came from the junk removal business. The junk removal business is something that anybody can do anywhere. There's unwanted stuff everywhere. The little secrets that have made us get along faster and to grow quicker, they're all inside of this little course that I put together. So this is a course. We normally charge $99 for it for a limited amount of time. It's basically free. And it's a beginner course. There's a mastery course that you could purchase later on, but this is the beginner course, and it teaches you all kinds of stuff. It's kind of like how to flip furniture, more or less, and how to flip appliances and stuff like that. Stuff that's left over in your neighbors' garages and stuff like that. There's money, you're driving down the street on trash day, there's money sitting there all the time. And it's kind of a fascinating thing to see, and it's a nice little side hustle, nice little way to start a new business if you want to go into business for yourself and work for yourself. Over here is our video of the 7-story building that was down on the beach in Fort Myers Beach, where we tore down this gigantic building. We had to pay $50,000 to rent this machine for 1 month. Very, very interesting, lots of stuff that was left behind. Go to that video and check it out.